Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Andrea Giraldo. Welcome to another episode for Season 2 of Meetings of the Minds, brought to you by the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce in partnership with BronxNet. This show was created in direct response to the COVID-19 pandemic as a way to highlight the work of our members and partners, as well as to understand the resources they have to help our community in those difficult times. So we have with us today Daniel Garcia, who was born in East Harlem and raised in the South Bronx. He received a bachelor's degree from Hamilton College and worked as a law clerk for 2 years before entering the food service industry. Daniel began his catering career over 40 years ago as a bartender for Nuestro Tesoro Catering. Daniel soon realized his talents in marketing and sales and took the initiative to devise manuals, marketing strategies, and operating systems to meet the demands of the growing company. Within 5 years, sales more than quadrupled, and Daniel rose through the ranks to vice president. In 1990, he founded Salsa Caterers, Special Events, Inc., and its core mission is to provide an authentically Latino cultural experience through catering and special event planning. For over 30 years, Salsa has been New York City's preeminent caterer specializing in Latino Caribbean. In 2007, he launched a new division, Salsa Express, a Latino Caribbean food concept which made history as the first Latino-operated concession in Yankee Stadium. Daniel continued to expand the Salsa organization, launching a third division in 2008, Salsa Food Services, which provides daily prepared meals. In 2022, the company expanded to a 20,000 square foot building in the Port Morris section of the Bronx to position for higher volume production. He also opened an event space in future Salsa Express in East Harlem for a Manhattan footprint. Salsa's clients include iconic brands such as Goldman Sachs, Goya Foods, Metropolitan Museum of Arts, and heads of states. Daniel's vision is to bring comida criolla to the world dining experience. With its airport certification, Daniel intends to lead Salsa to participate in exciting new endeavors in airport concessions. Daniel has been recognized with multiple awards, and it's also a graduate from the prestigious 10,000 Small Business Program from Goldman Sachs. So please welcome to this show, Mr. Daniel Garcia, Mr. Salsa himself. How are you, Daniel?
Great.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So to start off, we have here some samples of what Salsa Cater is about. So if you could just take us over what this is, what it represents for the viewers that don't know.
Sure. So we focus on Latino Caribbean food, and one of the most popular dishes, actually the #1 seller for us, is pernil, which is roasted pork. We marinate it for 3 days, and then we slow roast it to perfection. With that, the accompaniment is arroz con gandules.
Of course.
Right. So, which is rice and pigeon peas in English. You'll find this often during the holidays and festive occasions as well. Then we have maduros, which are sweet yellow plantains.
My favorite,
Yes.
platanitos.
Yes. And this, depending on the Latino Caribbean country, might be switched out. Like this is, most Latino countries have maduros. And then in Puerto Rico, you would have marinated green bananas, guineos and escabeche.
Okay.
Or maybe in Cuba, it could be yuca con mojo, even though each country eats the same. But this is a pretty much the typical dish.
Or in my country, Colombia, we have patacones.
Right.
So definitely, this is just a small sample of what salsa is capable of doing for you.
Right.
And I'll assure you that this smells magnificent. So hopefully we'll try a little bit later.
Absolutely.
So after seeing a little bit of what you can do, thank you so much. let's hear of your story, which I'm sure our viewers are very interested in learning today. Why and when did you get into business? So you have a past food industry experience, but what was the true motivation for starting Salsa since you had already worked in the industry?
So my background, not that I knew it, I mean, I knew my background, but not that I knew I would want to go into the catering business. But my father had a salsa nightclub back in the day. It was called Royals 2.
Okay.
And during the day, I was the guy that cleaned and got it ready for the evening, and my brother worked the evenings with my dad. But the nightclub business really wasn't for me. But I think like in the background, I felt like I one day would do a business.
Yeah.
Originally I thought maybe it would be legal, but then I found this opportunity in the food service business. So I used to bartend in college and afterwards to make extra cash, and I ended up learning the food service business from a Puerto Rican pioneer back in the day, Francis Lopez. And
Here in New York?
yeah, she was here in New York.
Okay.
And maybe I worked for her for 5 years, and then I decided I was going to start my own company, Sasa Caterers.
Hence Salsa from your father's.
Right. So interesting how we got the name. One day I was talking to my dad, and I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna call this. What are we gonna call this?" And he said salsa, and I'm like, "Salsa?" Because I'm thinking of the dance and the music.
Yeah.
He goes, "No. Well, look, dance, food, music." But then here's what he got me. He said, "But most important, people will say esa música tiene salsa, la comida tiene salsa." So it really is the Latino spirit.
Yes.
So that nailed it for me. I was like, the spirit is in this company and in what I want to do, and also it reflects in terms of food, music, and dance.
And the culture
The
itself.
whole culture itself, right?
Yeah, because as Latinos, we're very lively. We love to dance and party and whatnot. So
Exactly.
it's a fit for entertaining, that your Hispanic criollo
Right.
food definitely comes with a great name. Excellent. So what is Salsa Caterers Special Events? And it's now fourth division.
Yeah, now we have 4 divisions. So, we purposely I called it Salsa Caterers and Special Events. And that's the part that brings in the rest of salsa, right? So if you do an event with us, we do turnkey. So we'll do the entertainment, rentals, staging, anything that's needed for the event, we bring in.
Okay.
So all parts of the culture. And as we grew, we had an opportunity with Goya Foods that they brought us into a Yankee Stadium to launch what we call Salsa on the Go. And for us, it was Salsa Express. And we had our Latino Caribbean food at the old Yankee Stadium, and it was very successful. I mean, the majority of the customers were non-Latino,
Yeah.
so the food was then crossed over, and we were high performing. So it was popular, and we did this. I did the Goldman Sachs program, and they invited us to their corporate cafeteria, and we started doing corporate cafeteria work. And it was going really well. So we were in many corporate cafeterias, and we were expanding that way. The idea was to do brick and mortars, but we were going really, really rapidly in corporate cafeterias. Then the pandemic hit, and
Yeah, that's unfortunate for
yeah.
sure.
So, catering and corporate cafeteria work went away, so
Yeah.
our focuses went elsewhere. But part of another division we have is Sasa Food Services, which we've done for years as well. So that side of us has picked up where during the COVID-19 crisis, we did thousands of meals throughout the city, anywhere from going to organizations or door to door. It ended going door to door.
Excellent, excellent. And so what associations or organization have positively impacted your success aside from Goldman Sachs? Like, what have you relied on?
Yeah, I mean, I find relationships are so important. Like the relationship with the New York City Hispanic Chambers of Commerce. I mean, I've known them for years, and whenever there's been an opportunity to highlight us and or gear opportunities to us, they have. Besides that, there's the Bronx Initiative Corp, the Bronx Borough President's Office. We also now in a program called Ascend, and it's about getting procurement opportunities for minority businesses. But there have been many organizations and many relationships that have geared us in the right direction.
And enabled you towards success, I'm
Right.
sure.
And so important relationships is that sometimes businesses business can have a high and a low, and it's in those lows where those relationships, if you've treated people well, they're going to be by your side and usher you to the up again.
Yeah, I think that's very important as an advice for entrepreneurs, that are aspiring to start a business. Those relationships that you are able to forge throughout your years. Are there any words of advice that you'd like to share today with any aspiring entrepreneur, or better yet, in the food industry that they're looking to get into?
Right. I think for any entrepreneur, whatever it is you're looking to do, like the vision. When I first started my company, my family wanted me to be an attorney, and there was like, "You're gonna be what? You're gonna be a cook?" It wasn't well received. But
we paid for that law school,
right? But I had my vision, and I went at it, and then as I was successful, then there was a support around it as well. But I think there are times when, as an entrepreneur, only you see it. Only you see that vision. And it's not easy. I mean, there was a year I didn't pay myself a salary, or I've paid people more than myself.
Yeah.
And it's all going towards that vision. So I would say, have the vision in mind, be tenacious, and learn it. Learn that business. Either learn it well yourself, or make sure you have a team around you that knows it well, so you can succeed. But don't give up.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. I love that, because it's not only about what you do, but also what you can't do. So that advice of surrounding yourself with a team that is capable to support you and uplift you to succeed as a whole, because it's not about one person.
Absolutely.
Excellent, excellent. So this is excellent advice that you've given our viewers today. An amazing story for people to admire and look up to, how much you've diversified your different revenue streams. It's also very important. Thank you so much, Daniel, for being with us here today. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to dining later on today with Salsa Caterers in the future. Where can our viewers find you? One last thing.
You can find us at www.salsacaterers.com.
Excellent, excellent. Make sure to order your pernil on time, your tostones on time, your maduros, everything else. Well, thank you again so much. It's been such a pleasure. For you folks at home, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Meetings of the Minds.